Hey there guys, welcome back to Let's Play Baldur's Gate for our second episode. Last episode we left Candlekeep and started our adventure. Unfortunately, our mentor Gorion was murdered right before our eyes, but our friend Emowyn came from Candlekeep to accompany us on our journey. So, what we're up to today, we have a mission to meet up with two of our future companions at the Friendly Arm Inn. And these would be Kalhid and Jahira. They are very good characters, trending towards lawful and neutral good, not so much evil characters. And we're going to gather up all this loot real quick. Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition made it so this little bar right here actually lets you pick up loot without having to go down to each individual pile to grab it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head east and then north, and we should be able to encounter the Friendly Arm Inn. There's also some secrets up there. Binkos, sorry chum, but I can't stop to chat. There's been another caravan raided northeast to Beargust, and I must report these dire straits to the Grand Dukes. A messenger's work is never done.
Mic on.
So we're going to leave this little area. I'm going to go into the next wooded zone.
Oh, there, wanderer. Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man.
It's been nigh unto a 10 days since I've seen a soul walking this road, and I've been without decent conversation since. Traveling nowadays appears to be the domain of either the desperate or the deranged. If thou wouldst pardon my intrusion, may I inquire which pertains to thee? A fair bit desperate, actually. Might you know the way to the Friendly Arm Inn? I was told I might find some friends there. Ah, that I would. The inn is but a short distance to the north, and its doors are open to all. I have no doubt that thy friends shall be there, waiting with open arms. My sympathies for any hardships the road may have inflicted upon thee, though I am certain everything shall turn out for the best. But I have wasted too much of thy time, and said too much already. I shall take my leave, and wish thee all the best, says this old man. This old man is actually a very important character that we will see again later. I'm not going to spoil anything, but he is a major character in the Dungeons & Dragons universe. Gibberling. Ooh! Actually, this is a perfect time. I had forgotten last episode to summon my familiar, and these can be quite helpful when you keep them in your backpack, especially as a fighter mage thief. I don't have very many HP points as it is. So this will actually allow me to get a little more buff.
It shall be as you wish.
Familiar size, its nose twitching, slightly with curiosity as it looks up with dark eyes. What is it now, man? I am hungry. I wish to be petted and fed. Come here. I want to pick you up and put you in my pack where it's a bit safer. The familiar eyes your pack for a moment and then reluctantly crawls inside. Very well. It is better that you carry me. Do not bump me around so much this time, however. So now if we see in our inventory, we have a rabbit as a familiar. This is your familiar, a rabbit, currently curled up and safe within your backpack. The rabbit may not be one's first choice for a familiar, but this creature is incredibly quick and difficult to hit in combat, and has been augmented by magic to become quite resistant to physical harm as well as spells. The rabbit also has a keen nose for sniffing out traps on behalf of its master. 12 hit points, armor class 3, 45% magic resistance. So, these guys are quite fantastic, especially my end goal for this character is to basically make them pretty much invulnerable to magic, almost to the point where I can actually absorb magic spells and use them against any enemies that are unfortunate enough or stupid enough to want to use magic against me. The easiest way to kill my character is to close the melee range, but that's also what makes my character dangerous since I'm spec'd into dual-wielding katanas. Aeon. If you don't mind, please try to keep your voices down. There are beasties about, better hearing than we. What should I be wary of in this area? Round here, I wouldn't worry yourself too much, unless you're brainless and charge everything you see. Mostly gibberlings, but they aren't too much of a hassle. A fair bow and a good sword arm could handle one, maybe two. More with a mage or cleric backup. Wolves have become a bit more predatory lately. I think it's because more people are hunting for their food, seeing as how the iron shortage took away their normal livelihoods. A hungry wolf is a nasty thing, and I wouldn't travel without a group if I were you. Friendly Arm Inn to the north. Okay. Now, in the Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, they actually replaced a bunch of the cutscenes. So the cutscenes that you're going to see throughout this game, I can't remember 100%, but I'm fairly certain that almost all of them have been replaced. They actually did used to have graphical animation as their cutscenes, and maybe if I can track those down, I can upload those maybe as a separate or kind of sneak them into this. But here we go. Let's go to the Friendly Arm Inn. Okay, so this is the Friendly Arm Inn. Now, only because of other YouTubers was I actually able to discover quite a bit of secrets about this place. There is a tiny stone over here that has a very, very special ring, especially for somebody like my character who's a mage.
Yes?
Which actually reminds me, we don't need that familiar spell anymore, so let's memorize Identify, because we're going to be using that spell quite a lot. The goal with my character, if he uses magic, great, but the main plan is to make him magically resistant, magically armored, to utilize those dual-wielding katanas that we're going to be using. Now, if I was playing this like a true roleplay, I wouldn't be entering people's houses. However, this is Baldur's Gate, and I know that there's quite a few missions around here that actually yield some pretty good XP and rewards. Joya! Hi there! You're new here, aren't you? Could I trouble you a moment? Certainly, milady. Speak your mind. Ugh, such manners. Well, I need a gruff hand for this task, so keep your please and thank you garbage for the nobles. I was robbed blind by some hobgoblins within sight of this very inn's walls, and I need you to return the favor. They took my ring, and that's all I want back. Will you do it? I will help you. Thank you. The creatures were just a bit north of the inn. I swear I could almost see them from the upper rooms. Bring my ring back here when you get it. You'll know when you see it. It's a flame dance ring, and it's very striking. Now, as long as I don't actually steal anything that's locked or open it, I shouldn't attract the guards. I'm still going to be using my thieving skills to at least unlock the locks because it's free XP. So let's see here. I don't think this guy has anything unique to say. Commoner. My father's farm is at a standstill. One by one his tools break, and replacements are priced incredibly high. If we don't get a good stock of ore before harvest, crops will be rotting in the fields. Can't manage a farm with your bare hands. Very true.
How may I be of assistance?
And hopefully we'll be getting to the iron shortage in Nashkel. I'm hoping next episode or the episode after. Not entirely sure. The ebb and flow of this game kind of changes based on, well, who I run into, how well the rolls go. I actually did do a prior recording of this episode and realized after the fact that I had actually not recorded any sound. It was probably a good thing though, because both of my characters ended up dying right about here. Now hopefully that won't happen, but having two characters that aren't exactly strong kind of puts them in a vulnerable position. Hi friend, I've not seen you here before today. What brings you to the Friendly Arm Inn? Okay, so for those of you who have played this, you already know what this guy is about. For those of you who haven't, this guy is an assassin, like the people that we've encountered that killed Gorion, and there's going to be plenty more of them as the story continues on. The reason I'm not going to play it close to the chest, again, is because of XP. I want to get as much XP as fast as possible, and the easiest way to do this is to not be coy with people that are actually trying to murder us. So, let's see here. Well, it's nighttime, so nothing much really. Just road-worn travelers looking for a place to rest. I see. Pardon my being too forward, but you've the bearing of someone I've been looking for. About your height, they were. Same style of dress or thereabouts. I dare say. You seem to be the spitting image of them. Might you have traveled from Candlekeep by chance? Now, if this was me, and I had just had my father figure murdered before my eyes when leaving this place, and he warned me, basically, that to not speak to anyone, to make it to the Friendly Arm Inn and find these two individuals, I would not exactly be one to divulge my personal information. It's almost obvious at this point that this guy intends us harm. However, I'm going to play it pretty stupid, because I actually want him to attack us. I may have visited there on occasion. What of it? Which is probably a response I would say. Oh, nothing really. I'm just looking for someone from that region. Would your name be Aetherius, by any chance? Why, yes, it is. Perfect. You are indeed the person I seek. Hold still a moment, won't you? Aha! Now here he's showing his true
You're
face.
a queer fellow.
Now
I'm
hopefully we
done
can get
having none of
Emma
this.
out of range and get her to do some attacks. Alright, here we go.
What you want?
Now the guards will also help us because he's attacking in a public place. So if I die here, I'm going to be pretty embarrassed. And he's down.
I shall attend to it in a trice.
So first let's learn this magic. Now I do wish that Baldur's Gate had a Phoenix Sorcerer in it because that actually is my favorite class, but regular sorcerers I am pretty terrible with in this game. Letter. Bounty notice. Be it known to all those of evil intent that a bounty has been placed upon the head of Aetherius, the foster child of Gorion. Last seen in the area of Candlekeep, this person is to be killed in quick order. Those returning with proof of the deed shall receive no less than 200 200? Really? That's all I'm worth? That's kind of a rip. I won't even waste the effort in having the law come after me for 200 coins. Well, whatever. As always, any that reveal these plans to the forces of the law shall join the target in their fate. So obviously these guys are moving in the shadows. Normally I'd probably keep and dispose of this, but seeing as how leaving items on the ground don't entice other people to attack you, I'm not exactly worried about it. I also didn't read the letter from Gorion. My friend Gorion, please forgive the abruptness with which I now write. But time is short, and there is much to be done. What we have long feared may soon come to pass, though not in the manner foretold, and certainly not in the proper time frame. As we both know, forecasting these events has proved increasingly difficult, leaving little option other than a leap of faith. We have done what we can for those in thy care, but the time nears when we must step back and let matters take what course they will. We have, perhaps, been a touch too sheltering to this point. Despite my desire to remain neutral in this matter, I could not. In good conscience, let events proceed without some measure of warning. The other side will move very soon, and I urge thee to leave Candlekeep this night if possible. The darkness may seem equally threatening, but a moving target is much harder to hit, regardless of how sparse the cover. A fighting chance is all that can be asked from this point. Should anything go awry, do not hesitate to seek aid from travelers along the way. I do not need to remind thee that it is a dangerous land even without our current concerns, and a party is stronger than an individual in all respects. Should additional assistance be required, I understand that Jahira and Khalid are currently at the Friendly Arm Inn. They know little of what has passed, but they are ever thy friends, and will no doubt help however they can. Luck be with us all. I'm getting too old for this. E. So we can also actually give Emoin... Oh wait, is she... Oh yeah, she's currently, what is that effect anyway? Horror. So she'll snap out of it here momentarily. I'll have to wait for her to, get it together. I don't have any D-spells at the moment, so it'll just have to wear off naturally. I can't imagine how this actually affects, like, the person's mind in this alternate universe. Like, you obviously saw the guy that murdered or is attacking you get slain, yet you're still experiencing the effects of horror. Very peculiar. Come on, Emoin. You're literally chewing up the clock right now. Anytime. Well, let's see if... I doubt it. But let's see if it'll let me. I also realized I was in such a hurry in the character creator, I nearly skipped over so much important material. One of them was actually picking a portrait that I actually didn't intend. So we're going to switch our character's portrait. Although I don't dislike this. I just feel that for the fighter mage thief, this kind of skews heavily towards the thief side. So let's just change him to something that I feel is a little more appropriate for the character I'm trying to create. I do like the mages, but I just feel they're so, I don't want to say uppity, but there are most of the characters that we're going to encounter that I intend to recruit will actually probably have those portraits. So we're going to take this portrait. Kind of looks like a mage. My character, I don't intend for my character to actually ever wear armor. So,
I'm gone.
mage's robes, I'd find appropriate. You could probably, I don't know, I guess depending on how your dress is, like how you carry yourself, depends on how well you can hide these two katanas. But I like to imagine that this fighter mage thief has like a utility belt with thieving objects on him, and then attached to the belt are his two scabbards that carry his katanas. Although, like I said, right now we only have the one, so we're gonna have to find the other katana here soon. Jopie, I can't stand the way the roads are cut off these days. Me uncle's in Baldur's Gate, and I can't get there to see him. How come the roads are cut off? Where have you been these past few months? The roads are crawling with brigands and bandits after every scrap of iron you got on ye. Surely must have fled some on your trip here, unless you came by the west road, that is. Why is the west road still open? If there's ever a book shortage, that road to Candlekeep will be the most dangerous of them all, I assure you. But these folks are after metal, so they're sticking mainly to the larger trade routes between Baldur's Gate and Nam. And guess what? This here inn is smack dab in the middle of it all.
Yes?
There's Kalhid and Jahira. So let's just talk to them.
Calm yourself, dear. We must proceed carefully.
So if you can't tell, Kalhid's a little bit of a timid individual. I'll actually cycle through his auto voice so you can hear just exactly how skittish he really is. Something about you is familiar, child. Your manner reminds me of a sage I know, by the name of Gorion. It is almost a slight of him, but I see it too. Jahira, mind your manners. This must be the child that Gorion wrote of so often. We are old friends of your adopted father. He is not with you? I must assume the worst. He would not permit his only child to wander without his accompaniment. If he has passed, we share your loss. Gorion often said that he worried for your safety, even at the expense of his own. He also wished that Kalhid and I would become your guardians, if he should ever meet an untimely end. However, you are much older now, and the choice of your companion should be your own. We could travel with you until you get settled, help you find your lot in life. It would be a fitting last service to Gorion, though we should first go to Nashgal. Kalhid and I look into local concerns, and there are rumors of strange things happening at the mines. No doubt you have heard of the iron shortage. You would do well to help us. It affects everyone, including you. We are to meet the mayor of the town, Baron Gastkill. Your company would be most welcome. Well, good. We'll leave as soon as you're ready, though it should be soon. So, we have... Our party has grown. They're good characters to have here in the beginning, especially as a fighter mage thief. They are... I think Jahira is a druid, and I think Kalhid is just a fighter. We'll take a look at it here in a second. And we're going to sell some of our excess equipment that we don't need. I feel like I had more than that. Maybe I didn't. No matter. So let's see here. I'm a fighter mage thief. Emmeline is a thief. And in one of my saves, the one that I actually forgot to turn on the actual audio, she had died, and I was entertaining the idea of running a poll to see if we would res her or leave her dead, because she actually plays a major role in the second game. I have absolutely no idea how the game would be affected if she was dead, so I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Jahira, she's a multi-class. Fighter druid, true neutral, okay. Kalhid is just a fighter through and through. So let's see.
What is it this time?
Now there are a couple of quests that we can gather on the floors, on the Friendly Arm Inn's different floors, and we're also going to pick some locks for XP. There also is a secret mission that I've never completed in this game, but I have heard about it. It has to do with golden pantaloons, but we'll get to that soon. What is the meaning of this intrusion? I pay good money for my privacy, but what right do you disturb it? Well, I don't want to get in trouble, and I certainly don't want to tread down a dark path, at least through this playthrough. My apologies, sire. It was a simple mistake of room numbers. Be sure it is not repeated. Leave me. There's going to be quite a lot of that, by the way. So, again, we're just picking the locks. I'm not going to open them because I don't want to attract the guard. I have no idea what's even in those because I've actually never played a full, like, evil playthrough, but we're going to find out. Now, in rooms where there aren't any characters, we can absolutely get away with the pickpocket. Or the lockpick. Now, I know that there's only like a dagger in this room, so there's really not much of importance, but if you guys wanted to see it, it's basically just a giant loft kind of bedding room.
You cannot get better than the stability stone walls provide.
Have you heard? There's a rogue ogre with a belt fetish to the south of the Friendly Arm Inn. I had to bargain my new girdle of piercing for my life out of there. Wasn't even interested in an autographed copy of my book. Hey, if you can get that belt back to me, I'd be mighty grateful. That'll be another mission. I'm probably going to end up forgetting about it here for a little while, but we will eventually tackle every little quest we pick up. Nobleman, if I'm going to say the same. Do you have an excuse for barging in here? Unless you were here to make the beds, I want you out. Do I look like maid service to you? No. I don't suppose that you do. You look much more like a group of brigands casing my room for valuables and gold. Perhaps you should consider a career in the domestic arts. A maid is much less likely to end her career on the end of a polearm, unlike the job you have presently selected for yourself. Just a thought. I trust you will be going now? Whoa. So, smart enough to a noble. It won't actually end with anything bad, but tread lightly. Ah, here we go. Chainmail. Now I think Kalhid or Jahira can actually use that.
Mic off. Mic on.
Okay. And this is the Golden Pantaloons mission. Right here.
No time to chit-chat.
About time you showed. Here, I need these tunics cleaned and pressed by this eve. And be extra careful with the golden pantaloons. It took 15 women and a small boy from Kalimshan 12 days and 4 nights to weave them, so careful on the seams. Well, get going. Now, I know we're saying we're going to play a good character, but this is one secret quest or whatnot that I've actually never completed, and I've been told it carries over into the other games, so I feel like there is a long game with this. I think of the Begoron sword or the Giant's knife from Ocarina of Time. It's kind of what it reminds me of. At least that's what I've been told. Yes, sir. Pantaloons pressed and ready by tonight, or breakfast is free, sir. Service with a smile and a snap in your step. That's what I like to see. Now get going, damn you. Not a coin for a tip, but there's even one tear. Well, he's never getting those back. So let's milk this XP real quick. We're going to talk to Landrin. She actually has a quest in Baragost, which is a city between here and Nashkel. Ironically, the quest that she's going to give us is a quest that I was stuck on as a kid when I played this game in like 1999. It's to clear a house of giant spiders, and I very quickly turned that into a hard nope. The spiders aren't exactly difficult once you reach a certain point in the game, but at the point that I was fighting them, it pretty much resulted in instant death for me. So hopefully we can avoid that scenario this time around. Let's grab anything else that might be any value or interest to us.
A pleasure it is to meet you.
Hey, I've got a teeny bit of a spider infestation happening in my cellar in Baragost. I was on my way to the gate to get some poison, but this would be a lot easier on my legs, to be honest. You know the house when you see it. It's right at the west. It's right to the west of the Jovial Juggler Inn. Bring back their bodies to prove you've done the job, and I'll give you 100 gold pieces. If you could, bring my husband's old boots and my old bottle of wine back as well, and I'll throw in something extra. It's a pretty easy quest. Hopefully by the time we actually get around to doing that, our characters won't be in a vulnerable position like they were when I was a kid.
You have but to ask.
Alright guys, so we got quite a bit done in this episode. We found a secret ring that I've actually still got to identify. We have a couple quests, one from Joya for her Flame Dance ring, Landrin to clear out the spider infestation. I can't remember the dwarf's name, but one to recover the girdle from an ogre in the south. And we'll eventually do all of that. Our main quest right now is we're going to head down to Nashkel, and clear out those iron mines. So I think this is a good place to stop for this episode. We'll pick it up next time, and thanks for joining us at CRS Labs. This is Cody, signing off.